Hi, I'm Aiman. Welcome back to my auto repair videos. This video is going to be a continuation of helping Uncle Lon replace his alternator. This is going to be part 2 because in this part, we're going to be actually installing our new alternator. Oh, that's heavy. Oh my god, I forgot how heavy this was. We're going to be installing this alternator. If anything doesn't make sense in this video, please refer to my previous video on actually removing the alternator in order to understand what I'm talking about. So the first thing we need to do is get a sense of exactly what we need to do. So the first thing we need to do is actually angle or finagle our new alternator through the space into the this compartment here. And there are two things that we need to do. One of them is to connect the fasteners, because when we put this in here, we're not going to be able to access the backside to get these fasteners. So we want to put the fasteners on first, which is this bolt and this cable. Next thing we want to do is we want to angle the alternator into the slip here. What's going to happen is this bolt here is going to be able to angle into that lip, and what I'm guessing is that it's meant for the alternator to hinge on that bolt. So so two things: we want to put the fastener on, and we want to get it angled with that bolt in that lip. After that, what we want to do is we want to put the top bolt on this part sticking out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert the bolt through this hole, and then we're going to screw it in. After that, there are multiple things we could do here, but one of the main things we want to do is we want to make sure that these parts right here that we took out in order to get the alternator out are put back in place. I don't know what these parts are called, by the way. And we also need to make sure that we put the serpentine belt back on. So, with that in mind, let's get to it. Alright, so this is going to be a bit tricky because it's me finagling it out inside this time instead of Uncle Lon pulling it out. So, let's try it. Oh, did I say it was going to be tricky? Okay, so unintendedly easy. I'm going to angle this so that this bolt here is facing towards that lip. Now what we want to do is, it's going to be a bit tricky for us to actually insert it if the alternator is on the lip. So we're going to take the cable. I believe the cable is tucked away here, right here, this one. We're going to insert it, but we also need to insert, hold on, this, wait, hold on, I need to get light here. Can you see? Where did I put it? All right, and from out of the shadows, I pull out the other one. This one has a cap on it, and I guess we'll just put it on. So this one goes on like this. We're going to take out this bolt. It looks like there's a washer. I feel a washer. Oh, this is a nut, by the way. Oh, so it's a nut with a washer on it. Huh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna put this on. I have to finagle it a bit. I don't want to get this off. Okay. Alright, so I have this under control. That cap you saw is just basically a cover, and it's a ground wire, so I think it's okay. I'm gonna put the bolt back on. I mean the nut back on. You want to use the right terminology. Alright, so we're gonna tighten it. It's an electrical part, which where tightening is not as important, but we still need to make sure that it's tight. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So if I do this and I hear the ratchet, okay. Okay. So now it's tight. Okay, so what you just saw there, it's not this breaking. I just accidentally angled this wrong. But you don't want to over tighten these because you might break them. Now we're gonna put the cap back on. This might not fit, so we might do it off camera. Okay, so it won't fit. Now what we want to do is we want to take this connector. No, not this one. This one is not the right shape because this one is circular. This one's irregular. That means the other connector should be down here. There we go. It's like in kindergarten, they ask you to do those block things. We gotta get through the right hole. Oh no. So the reason I said oh no is because usually with these things you can hear an audible click. And Let me see if I put it the wrong way. No, there's no way I could put this the wrong way. These notches out here. What the? Maybe I have to... That's not good. Alright, so looks like things are going as usual when we were using aftermarket parts. As you see here, we've put electric tape on both the cover and the cable, because the cable actually doesn't snap in place. And we noticed that because when we try to pull it out just normally, it comes out. So we put electrical tape on it to keep it in place, and we'll also put electrical tape on the cover. Also keep in mind that this is protecting ground. So you just need to make sure that's like a ton of electrical tape on it. My dad was saying it's pretty cool how the solution to pretty much anything in the world is duct tape or electrical tape. So now we're going to continue. Actually, I should also mention, this is probably why you shouldn't use aftermarket parts. You should probably use genuine parts, even though they are a bit more expensive. Because with things like this, you want to make sure that your electrical connections are snap tight and that they don't ever fall out. Especially with something like an alternator. Alternators are very important. Now we're going to angle this so that this bolt is in that lip. So I'm going to put that under it. This should be facing towards the driver's side. So we're going to finagle it like we have done before. And now, this is the important part. You got to get that angle. We're going to insert it onto the lip. Now this is going to be a bit tricky because there might be a bit of friction. But as you can see, you should be able to eventually get it in. Oh my god. That was too easy. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned that was so easy. But, you know, let's check on the bottom, make sure. Maybe I should take the bolt from top and secure it just in case, but wow. Okay, we'll also have to lift this a bit. Let me just get this under. Put that in. If you were wondering what I was doing, I was lifting the AC line in order to fit the bolt under, because it's very long, into the shaft. We're going to push it in there. I'm just going to screw it in a tiny bit. And now we're going to check. Oh. Okay, so theoretically we should be able to tighten this in. I can't do it right now because apparently hand tightening it isn't sufficient. But it looks like it was that easy. Huh. Okay, let's do it. So now we're going to tighten the top bolt. And we're going to use our Milwaukee for the first initial part. And then we're going to hand tighten it. Or maybe we don't need to use Milwaukee. We're just going to hand tighten it. Is this the right one? No, I'm just really surprised. It's not supposed to be that easy. It's really weird. After this, I'm going to have my dad check on the torque. But after this, you just want to tighten your alternator. What the heck? Okay. So that was weird. I thought I switched it to the tightening. I must have switched it at some point. Okay. And then 1/8 of a turn. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the bottom. Of course, I'm gonna have my dad check, but let me get. Oh my god! Where's the belt? Oh, the belt's over here. Okay, that's gonna be a bit of a problem, but that's gonna be easy. Okay. What the heck? Now I can hand tighten it? This is the funny thing about working with cars. Sometimes initially you have to use a wrench, but then you get to a part where you can just do it by hand. It's supposed to be the other way around. But now that we're here, now we tighten it with the wrench. Oh. Okay. That's why I love working on cars like this. It's so fascinating to see the new things that differ from each car. Because like, it's a running joke on my channel that Hondas are very easy to maintain, while things like the Toyota Prius behind us are like, it's like a maze. And this one brought a lot of cool things to the table, especially with that tensioner. Some people might be wondering why it's so dark outside whenever we do our videos, and that has to do a bit with some poor planning, especially in our part, but also because it's summertime right now, so the days are pretty hot, which means that the best time to do these things is at night when the temperature is a bit more moderate. And I guess it also adds to the mood, yeah? Okay, this is taking a long while. Oh, okay. And one last eighth of a turn. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so now I'm gonna have my dad torque it, but for now, we should be good. Alright, so my dad said I did a pretty good job on the torque. So we're good with that one. Here's Azami, my brother, by the way. Hello. Azami doesn't really work on the cars because I'm the electrical and mechanical guy, but Azami over here is the computer science guy. So we're like two sides to the same coin. Both of us need to work together to make sure that the product is pretty good. But Azami over here, he's more of an Elon Musk guy, you know? I think he's also in the like Elon Musk movies. He probably likes that guy, right?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, so he's probably gonna be like Elon Musk in the future. Hopefully with all the good stuff. Yeah, so I mean Azami likes Elon Musk, but my dad is not a big fan. He likes the vision, not so much the attitude. And I'm sure some people can agree with that. Most people can. But now what we need to do, not to get on a tangent about Elon Musk, but now what we need to do is we need to reattach the serpentine belt. We're going to overlay a diagram of what the serpentine belt's supposed to look like, but it's kind of simple. The tough part is actually doing it because you have to finagle the belt around. After that, what we want to do is we need to make sure that we secure all the things that we took apart in order to install the alternator. So this part, which I have no idea what it's called still, we need to put this back on. We need to put the other parts that were attached to it back on. We need to reattach the AC line screw down here. Now, Uncle On's brother-in-law forgot to put the screw in there, so we're just gonna leave it like that. And finally, we need to attach this hose. I feel like there's something else that we missed. Before we go on in the video, if you sense any weird movement in the camera in this video, it's because my dad's trying to avoid any glare that might come from this light or that light. So, just in case you are wondering about that movement, that's why. So, over here, we did this off camera because, first off, it's not really beneficial for me to explain because people who are working on this can probably understand how to take this out, especially because there's only a few bolts that I need to take out, like this one. And I've also, the other reason is because I did this removal on the video, on the previous video. So you can check that out if you want to know how to install it, because installation is the reverse of removal. Now, when you put the cable back in, you can see it actually. Hold on. I need to see where I'm looking. This is supposed to be on the outside, so it goes in here. Okay. See, the reason I got confused is because I'm always used to plugging into something rather than the plug being the thing that you insert. Because there's not really a good example around here. But as you can see, the clip is back on, and when we put it back on, there was a click. Now, if there wasn't a click, we can just blame it on Uncle On's brother-in-law. So now what we want to do is we want to put the serpentine belt back on. So the serpentine belt is a bit of a tricky thing to explain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to overlay the serpentine belt, and it should be easy to figure out. I mean, there's only two things that you need to loop it around. But what's going to happen is I'm going to pull the tensioner from the bottom while my dad rearranges the belt. And hopefully you guys are able to make sense of where the belt goes. Alright, so let me take this, and the tensioner is all the way up there. I need the light. The tensioner should be this one right here. Okay. Let me angle it this way. Okay. There we go. So now we can start looping it back. Alright, so as you can see, we have the serpentine belt on. My dad's telling me that for tips for doing this, you should probably do it with 2 people. But in the case that you have to do it with 1 person, according to my dad who's worked with Hyundais before, like Asana, you should end with the AC right here on the bottom. So just a tip for anyone who's doing this by themselves, when you put the serpentine belt on, put this one on last. Now that's in the case of if you do it from the bottom, which of course, if you're replacing the alternator, you're gonna have to do it from the bottom anyway. But if you did need to do it from the top, oh no, my phone fell. That's not good. But anyway, if you did it on the top, what you want to do last is you would actually want to do the alternator last. So, just tips for anyone who's doing this by themselves. If you're doing it from the bottom, do the AC last. If you're doing it from the top, the AC compressor last. If you're doing it from the top, do the alternator last. All right, so now I'm going to reattach this hose, and now what we're going to do is going to run the engine. Or I guess what we're going to do is we're going to attach the battery first, and then what we're going to do is we're going to crank the engine once to see to get to see if the serpentine belt is a-okay, and then after that we're going to test it. All right, so we put the battery back in, we put the terminals back on, the positive and the negative. One thing we noticed while doing this was that actually the battery is not secured, it's not tied down. So just a note to Uncle On, make sure you have some kind of thing, some kind of wire or cable that is strewn over the battery to keep it secured. Because what will happen is that if you get in a crash or your car flips over, the battery is going to jump around, and if there's any fuel that's around the engine, what's going to happen is that it's going to catch fire, and obviously you don't want that to happen. So just make sure that you tie down the battery. Also, another thing is the fuses are left uncovered. You might want to tell your brother-in-law to put everything back on. But now we're gonna start the engine. We're gonna crank it, and then we're gonna start it. All right. So as you can see, the serpentine belt is running. I can't point at it because that would be dangerous. But as you can see, it's working. So now we're going to button everything up. We're gonna put the tire back on, and then we're gonna close after we shut off the engine because it's really loud. All right. So last we have to torque our tires. Now we're using my dad's $150 torque wrench that we got after Oscar's friend didn't torque his lug nuts right. So really all I can say about that is life is more important than money. And in the same vein, life is more important than time. You shouldn't rush this kind of operation. But off camera, I already made sure that all 5 of these were torqued. Oh. Okay. 1, 3, 4, and 5. So now these should be okay. And you know, it kind of makes you feel powerful when you can move an entire car with just a torque wrench. When the car moves, I feel strong, like Uncle On. So as you can see, after doing one final review of the car to make sure that there's nothing left, we should be good to go. So for now, we're gonna close it right here. I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Today I showed you how to remove and replace the alternator for a Hyundai 2009, 2014, or 6th generation Sonata. We probably might not do a lot of videos on the Sonata because it isn't our car, but we do a lot of videos on our Honda Civic back there. You might not be able to see it. Actually, that's a Hyundai Santa Fe over there. We're going to do videos on that. Maybe we'll do something on the Prius. Not quite sure. We have to replace the engine. Actually, maybe we'll do a video on that. But I'll see you there. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and get our videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the auto repair videos, especially the videos that have Uncle On in them, because those are always a treat. And we'll see you there. But for now, Mechanic Aiman signing out. Peace. Alright, so my dad wanted to redo the ending because I wanted to include the alternator. So I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the car repair videos. I apologize, my arm is shaky because this is very heavy. We also did a video on the actual zero offset wrenches that we need to use in order to loosen the tensioner. So go check out that video. We also did the video on actually removing the alternator, so go check that out if you haven't already. I mean, if you're already at the ending of this, I assume. And we also did a video on actually how to remove the Serpentine belt, so go check that out. They all come in a sort of set that we did together, today. So go check those out and I'll see you there. And also, go check out videos on my channel that feature Uncle Lon, because those are always a treat. I think one in particular is the camping video that I mentioned earlier, so go check that out. And me and him, we'll see you there. But for now, where should I put this? That'd be good. But for now, I'm Mechanic Aiman, signing out. Peace.